Welcome to All Things Social Security. Enjoy your video. Good morning. Happy Sunday. It is Thanksgiving weekend. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. Mine was very nice. Okay, so what did we do for the last week? This was a bit of my travel week. So this would be the 24th through the 29th of November. So on Monday, the 24th, we had it was the last part of a 4-part video series on malingering, what the danger is to your case, how to avoid it, how to avoid the optic of that, even when you're utterly innocent of it. Malingering, that was Monday, part 4. On Tuesday, we started a 10-part video series on the function report for a mental health claim and the things you want to think about and focus on, because there's definitely a lot of confusion for those with mental health based Social Security disability or SSI claims on how to fill that out when it's mental limitations that are keeping you from working as you see it. And given the fact that the function report, that's the SSA 3373, seems to appear to be only regarding physical capacities to do things. And it's not entirely the case. So we go into that a little bit, quite a bit actually. It was a rather lengthy video when it was made. So, because as you know, I like to keep things, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes or less. There are exceptions. We had that broken up into 10 different shorter videos. It's just kind of like a cut. Here's a cut, here's a cut, here's a cut. And they're labeled 1 through 10. So it's very easy to find the next one if you need to. And you probably should, if your druthers is a decent function report in a mental health claim, you're definitely going to want to listen to all 10 of them. They're very short. Okay, and I'm losing my voice, of course. 'Tis the season, right? The 26th, that would be what, Wednesday? This was, it came up from a discussion with somebody, maybe in one of the live Q&As, but it involves hobby income. When you have a hobby and you end up, say, being able to sell something that you made, a craft of some sort, and you're not doing it for a living, it's really a hobby, and you occasionally will be like, oh yeah, I'll sell it to you for 10 bucks or whatever. And how you have to consider that. When does it become something that is more working versus pure hobby, despite the fact that you might sell an occasional gadget here and there? Okay, hobby income and SGA is what that one was about. The next day was the 27th. That would be Thursday. And by the way, we did not have the live Q&A on Wednesday because I was still traveling, my pre-Thanksgiving travels to see my mother and some other family members. So we didn't have the live Q&A on Wednesday. The Thursday noon daily was about the situation where an ALJ at your hearing asks you, well, what do you do all day? How do you spend your day? And the things you should be thinking about and preparing to have answers for when you want to describe what you do all day to the judge. Friday, we had the Friday Fraud Law Review. That was our daily, as always on Fridays. And we also had the Makeup live Q&A live stream at 1 p.m. on Friday. Going forward, it's back to Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But that was just to make up for the fact that I couldn't be there on Wednesday. And it was a small but sweet crowd. And then the following day, Saturday, we had the replay with the reading and the scrolling cut out of it so as not to waste anybody's time if they're watching the replay. So the replay came out yesterday. And yep, that's it for last week, guys. Wow. So today, by the way, is my daughter's birthday. We had a little shindig for her last night. It was kind of fun. And we have a bunch of videos coming up, including a continuation of the mental health claim function report series that's coming out. So you'll see all those come out one by one, all 10 of them over the next couple of weeks. They generally have like a pink labeling on the thumbnail, if that makes it easier to find them. But they're also in their own playlist, which I forget the exact name, but it's something about function report for a mental health claim. And it's just those 10. So you don't have to go looking through the bigger function report do's and don'ts if you don't want to, which is the bigger playlist with all of the function report tips. Alrighty, I think that's it for now, guys. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving, and I hope you have a good week. We are in the Christmas season, so I wish everyone the best with that. Let's try to make it peaceful and meaningful, as well as the rest of your Sunday. And let's have a good week coming up. All right. I will hopefully see you then. Hopefully, definitely see you Wednesdays live at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye, guys. It's still Sunday. Did you miss last week's Social Security roundup? Not this week that you just heard, but the one prior to that, and want to catch up? I'm attaching it now. Have a great day. Bye. Happy Sunday morning. It is, gosh, what is the date? It is the, what, 23rd of November. Here we go into Thanksgiving week. I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving and be safe with it as well. Let's just go over last week's videos. It looks like we were at the November 17th was Monday, and we go through the 22nd. So what do we have? To me, it's like a mind sieve. I can't remember. So I have to look at the list and hope nothing ever changed. All right, here we go. We had on Monday the 17th, this was a tip, a piece of information about veterans TDIU, disability type of rating with the VA and benefits, versus SSDI, Social Security Disability Insurance, and how the finding that one meets the criteria of either one can differ. So you could meet the finding for one and not the other. That's not the goal, of course, but explaining how that can happen and often does. Okay, so on Tuesday, oops, I just clicked the wrong thing. Forgive. On Tuesday, yeah, because my eyes are just blind. This is about legal fees and how you can actually have a legal fee in theory, even if you're denied. I've never seen it in action, but it is, the details are found in the SSA's official version of the fee agreement that representatives are invited to use versus using their own formatted fee agreement. So we go into that because I thought that was kind of interesting when a client brought it up. It's like, whoa, you're right. I didn't even think about that. Or maybe I just never paid attention to it because it would never happen in my firm. But anyway, then we have Wednesday, the 19th. What do I got here? Let me just scroll that up so I can see it better. Ah, yes, this was part 3 of the malingering videos. It is like one longer video that it was just broken up into 4 parts because I don't like them to go too long. Only because I know most people don't want to sit that long. So that's about malingering and what it means under the SSA adjudication process, and little ideas on how to avoid the optic of malingering. And of course, don't malinger. So that's 3, and I guess 4 is coming up soon. November 20th was, what would that make it, Thursday? Yeah, all right. Thursday was the replay of the Wednesday 1 p.m. live stream. Totally different than our dailies. As you know, Wednesday 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is our running time period for the weekly live streams that do question and answer from anyone who decides to join in on any Social Security topic. And that was the replay. Note that the one that we had was Wednesday. Go ahead and push it an hour due to another obligation, but normally they're at 1 o'clock. And we have the live stream for the week of Thanksgiving, but it's not going to be Wednesday because I'm traveling. So I pushed it to Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. Same 1 o'clock time period, Eastern Standard Time. So I'd love to see you guys there. It would be a happy Thanksgiving. All right. 21st, Friday Fraud Law Review. This was a Massachusetts woman who stole a dead person's Social Security for 5 years. Again, I thought they said that they weren't paying out dead people's Social Security. How many times have I reported on it? And mine are probably just a small, tiny little itty bitty percentage. Incredible. All right, so that was Friday. And then Saturday, yesterday, this was just a tip about your mental health providers and what would be preferred evidence. So if you have a mental health claim, you might want to take a look, see at that. And I should add that coming up is going to be a series of videos, short, from one big long one, broken out into 10 pieces, about the mental health claimants' way to handle the function report. Because a lot of people get really confused because the function report seems largely physical. And there is a lot of physical, but mental health can also affect one's capacity to do physical things because of the mental state. So there are so many things to think about with so many of these questions. So we actually go through it from front to back. And I broke it out into 10 pieces only to keep them short because nobody can really sit there. I might put them all together potentially to have a separate one where you could just see it all run through if that's what you wanted to do. Because I get that might be something, but get through the we'll get through the 10 little ones first before I delve into a long video and put it out there, only because it kind of breaks my format. So anyway, I hope that helps. There's a lot of mental health claims, whether it's fully a mental health claim or mental health is a component. I think that that video will really help when you do your function report. All right, so that's it, guys. Happy Sunday. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you have a great week coming up. And do feel free to say hi. Visit the daily videos, leave a comment, or better yet, or in addition to, join us live Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard, but this coming week for Thanksgiving, Friday at 1 p.m. And I can hear my dogs barking, so I will chat with you guys later. I think they need to go out. Bye-bye now.